Hey, I've noticed something that everyone has in common no matter what, and it kind of gave me the inspiration to start this podcast called The Common Denominator. Let me first just say briefly that I'm a TEFL certified teacher and I work with both adults and teenagers and children. I've been working for about 5 years online. I also worked as a proofreader for many years. And I help people with their college papers and help them also with their pronunciation for class presentations. Well, you can say that this is something that came over time, and I had a few encounters where I was confronted with the reality of this before I really named it, before I really put my finger on it. For example, not too long ago, I was in a cafe here in Belgium where most people speak either French or Dutch as their mother tongue. And the waiter spoke really good English, and he was a young person, so I was very curious how he spoke so fluently. He spoke like someone who had lived abroad. And I was very surprised when he told me that he learned English in school, but it was because he practiced his English all the time when he played video games. And it also surprised me to find out that he traveled to other countries so that he could meet these people that he's been playing with online. And they live in countries where English is not the native language. So that was really interesting because they're speaking another language, a second or third language, in order to play together. So what is it that I learned? I learned that what motivates people to learn language, they want to make friends. Can you believe how simple it is? We just want to make friends. We want to socialize. We want to meet people. We want to get to know others. There's something incredibly attracting about people, especially people who are not like us. That's why we enjoy diversity so much, especially in America. I'm going to do my best to share with you from my own experiences so that you know that I understand what it's like. I think I always had a hard time with a lot of slang. Like if people asked me how it was going, but they would ask me in like the crazy way that I didn't even understand what was going on. And that's what was kind of difficult as a non-native speaker. Like, what's the word? What? Hey, Maria, what's the word? What do you mean, what's the word? Like, what's on the test today? No, silly. Like, how's it going? How's it hanging? So I completely understand how challenging it can be sometimes, but that's okay because you're immersed, and immersion makes all the difference in learning a language. But maybe you're saying, Maria, I'm not immersed. I live in a foreign country. I don't live in a country where we speak English all the time. And I also don't live in a country where I know a lot of Americans. Well, you have access to American culture that I never had when I was growing up. You have the internet, or as we playfully call it, the internets. You're fully connected. You know how to access any information that you want, any videos that you want, any movies you want, any music you want that comes from American culture. Any kind of Americana is always at your fingertips. So you don't really have the same excuse. Plus, I know that you're already watching a lot of shows in English all the time because, let's face it, most of the world culture today is in English, and that's because English is the lingua franca. But I diverge. That's a lesson for another day. So before we begin, I want to make sure you have a pencil and pen, a nice notepad, and maybe your favorite drink and chips, so we can settle in and have a nice little chat/study time. All right, the way I want to begin is by sharing with you the best strategy for starting conversations with people is to give them your observations or your opinions about something. What do I mean, observations or opinion? Observations are things that you notice. They're things that you can physically see. For example, if it's raining outside, if there's a lot of people in the room, if it's cold or if it's hot, if the heater is cranked up or if the AC is cranked up. Okay, what is cranked up? Turned up! Very high! Opinions are how you feel about these things. How you feel about the air conditioner being so high. How you feel about the rain outside. Opinions are your judgments on these things. All right, guys, in the famous words of Kane Tejada, say less. Let's start. Observations. You can insert any subject, any topic that you want. For example, this class is really interesting. Instead of saying class, you can say, this project is really interesting. This subject is really interesting. This term is really interesting. All right, now let's put a little twist in it. How about a little slang? This class is legit. This assignment is legit. This term is legit. What does it mean it's legit? Well, it's definitely interesting and to be taken seriously. It's legit. It's authentic. It's the real deal. It's the real thing. You better take it seriously. Have you ever heard a classmate say, "Whoa, this teacher isn't playing"? They ain't playing around. They're being serious. Maybe you'd think the class is boring. Well, that's more like an opinion. This class is really boring, but let's put a twist on it. This class is mad boring. Mad. They both intensify the word boring. The pizza today tastes better than usual. Well, again, that's an opinion. The pizza today tastes better than yesterday. What's a twist for this? The pizza today is mad good. Let's go on. How about the test was grueling? What is grueling? It's demanding. Doesn't mean that it was hard for you to figure things out, but the process may have been demanding. That test was grueling. Or the opposite, that test was pretty easy. How about a twist on pretty easy? That test was a breeze. Here's another observation. The classroom feels really crowded today. Really crowded today. We can substitute really for our mad. The classroom feels mad crowded today. Or how about the classroom is pretty empty? You can use pretty for something small, like it's pretty empty today. All right, let's go on. Remember, you can download this PDF and go through it at your own pace and pick out the expressions that work for you. If you want to take the opportunity to strike up a conversation by somebody else's opinion or observation, you should probably end it with a question. It depends on whether you agree or disagree with what they said. Throw it back at them and see what they give you. See what they respond. Let's say you disagree, but no doubt you still want to start up a conversation. You can begin by saying, "Honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. What did you have trouble with?" Or, "To be honest, I don't think we're getting too much homework. Do you have more homework in other classes?" To be honest, this teacher isn't that strict compared to my other teachers. To be honest, I don't really know. What makes you say that? Now let's say that you observe one of your classmates or somebody you want to become friends with doing something and you're pretty interested in what they're doing. You could say, "You seem like you're really good at this. How long have you been doing it?" Or, "It looks like you understood that better than anyone. Can you explain it to me?" Or Maybe they have a different way of looking at things, and that's kind of intrigued you. Intrigued? It's made you curious. It drew your attention to them. You can say, I noticed that you offered a different opinion than anyone else about this subject. Where does that come from? Or, I don't think anyone saw that coming, but you seemed prepared. Why was that? You seem like you're always on top of things. How do you do it? When you're learning a language, the best thing to do is find what expressions fit your personality. Let's review the slang twist before we sign off. But before we do that, I have a newsletter that you can sign up for to receive information about free monthly Q&A sessions where I offer extra help related to all of my lessons. You can also bring your own questions if you have any English homework, English writing, or English grammar that you need help with. The newsletter also includes other grammar tips and grammar help and announcements for other open sessions or open meetings where we can come together and you can practice your English with me. In the newsletter, I share insights about what it's like to grow up in America as a non-native speaker. I do it in a way that will help you learn new vocabulary in a natural way. Download the free PDF. Practice it. Find what expressions work for you. It's only through practice that you're going to get good and better at this. You never know what you can do until you try. I hope this will allow you to start talking in class and to your classmates more often. Let's recap the slang twists that you can put on your observations or opinions. Mad. Mad is used usually to intensify something, to go bigger. It's mad loud in here. It's mad noisy in here. It's mad crowded in here. Pretty. Pretty can be used as an intensifier when you want to make things small. It's pretty empty in here. It's pretty quiet in here. This test was pretty easy. Or how about, this test was a breeze? You can also say, when you agree, no doubt, 100%, totally. That's totally right. I totally agree.